This reclamation will destroy Mumbai's beaches. It will become unsafe for people to go into the water. There will be more erosion, more flooding inside South Mumbai, and we will lose our beaches, which are a part of our natural heritage. That is one reason. Forget the mechanics of the economics of it or the environmental part of it. If Mumbai wants to see its beaches, these are the last remaining years. Go and see it, enjoy it, and after the road is complete, you can forget about it. So that's the dangerous situation we are in today.
But what is putting the Mumbai beaches in danger? It's the coastal road. Mumbai Coastal Road has been the oldest planned project of the city connecting northern Mumbai to the southern Patti. It was initially proposed in the 1962 Wilbur Smith study and then later in 1967 DP. In 2001 Vision Mumbai report by McKinsey, it was mentioned once again, but the road was not built then. Initially, it was supposed to be a partly reclaimed, partly stilled, and partly landfilled project, which would basically pass along the western shoreline and pass through some creeks, like the Malad Creek. But in the 2011 Joint Technical Committee, which was formed by Maharashtra government, it was estimated that the reclamation would wholly and fully be a very cheap option. So then it was finally estimated that the 35-kilometer long route from Kandivali to the southern Mumbai would be a good option, but in the reclamation form. In 2015, DPR proposed a reclaimed road and a stilled road costing to 11,000 crores. At that point of time, citizens actively opposed the entire project. Despite this, CRZ clearance was given to the southern part of the project, which was then divided into two parts. Unfortunately, there is not enough environmental clearance on the entire project. In 2018, construction work began, and in 2019, 5 petitions were filed against the entire project in the Mumbai High Court. In the same year, Mumbai High Court ordered a stop on the construction due to lack of environmental clearances. But why were the petitions filed? Now, technically, the coastal road is illegal. It has not attained the required environmental clearances. Moreover, the entire project covers the intertidal zone, which is a super crucial, super important area containing abundance of marine fauna, marine biodiversity, notwithstanding, not forgetting our very own Mumbai's corals, which by the way comes under the Schedule 1 species under the Wildlife Protection Act. This means that the corals are entitled to the same protection as a tiger and an elephant in this country. Let's not also forget that the intertidal zone is super important for the Mumbai's local fishermen. Back in 2018 when the work started, they did notice significant changes in the sea activities, sea level rise, soil erosion, and moreover changes in the navigation channel. All of this is definitely negatively impacting the fishing business for the local community. Furthermore, no social impact assessment or environmental impact assessments have been carried out for this entire project, which is straightforward violating the Environmental Protection Act, the Coastal Regulation Zone Act, Biodiversity Act, and even the Wildlife Protection Act. And let's not forget, it is definitely violating and taking away the right to life and livelihood of the Mumbai fishermen, whose entire livelihood basically depends on the sea. But is this process really cost effective? The Joint Technical Committee decided to build the road by way of reclamation because it was a cheaper alternative as compared to other alternatives which would cost them 600 to 650 crore per kilometer. The reclamation costs them 100 crore per kilometer. Ironically, today the cost of 10 kilometers of road is 13,000 crore, which means for 1 kilometer we are spending about 1300 crore. From 100 crore to 1300 crore is a 13 times increase. BMC, the Joint Technical Committee, still thinks that reclamation is giving them a cost-effective alternative. And hence, the entire drive, the primary drive to build the road via reclamation is its cost effectiveness only. Of course, this is only accounting the financial planning. It does not really yet include the environmental damages and the loss of livelihood. However, this entire process and the increase of expenses has not yet been explained by the BMC, and we really hope to achieve much more clarification on the following subject. But what really has happened due to all of this controversy is the entire coastal road has been made toll-free, which means the private cars using the road will not have to pay for the road. Another way to look at it is the middle income groups, municipal taxpayers are indirectly or cross-subsiding the project. But is the project really sustainable? Accounting for climate change and considering that the road will be ready in 10 to 12 years of time, Mumbai is going to be facing a huge problem of rising sea levels. Let's face it, this is not 1962. This is 2020 and soon to be 2021. Things have changed and we need to adapt. Don't you think that the more we are pushing for private transport comfort, the more two-wheelers and four-wheelers are we going to be seeing in the coming years? That's exactly what we cannot afford anymore. While we are introducing the Metro 3 project, which will take hundreds and thousands of vehicles off-road and put them in public transport and convenient travel, the coastal road, the Sea Link, is actually just encouraging private transportation. And then in a few years' time, we will need more such coastal roads and sea links. It's a never-ending toxic chain. Moreover, when the road comes at a heavy price of environmental damage and livelihoods, we definitely don't think it makes enough sense to put both the projects implemented together.
And they want to reclaim 21 additional hectares, which is a huge area. So now BMC, and in fact BMC has claimed that they had designed the road, but now the additional 21 hectares, which was not a part of the original DPR, is for the foundation. So they want to build a seawall. So how is it that they did not consider the foundation or factor in the area required for reclamation of the foundation in the original design of the project? So that just shows the way, the shoddy planning that is being done, and also how they are trying to, because they think they can get away with anything. Now they have actually, in fact, it was not that they pointed this out. It was the petitioners who found out that additional reclamation was going on, and they brought this to the notice of the Supreme Court, which is why BMC has now applied for CRZ clearance for the additional 21 hectares that they want to reclaim. Some of this reclamation has already been carried out. So in a sense, the reclamation work has already started. Now the Supreme Court said they have to go to NCZMA for clearance for the additional 21 hectares. So they've applied for clearance after. So it's like a post facto clearance. They're getting studies done now on marine biodiversity and proposing mitigation measures like the translocation of corals, or, saying that we will build a seawall, sloping seawall, and the coral reefs and, basically the oyster beds, etc. will get regenerated and the fishermen can practice fishing. It is absolutely, it is blatant lies, because it's impossible to recreate the profile of the shoreline, to recreate the intertidal ecology.
So can we do something about it now?
See, people need to at least put their dissent out in public. You can't let them get away with murder. You have to say that, okay, you're fooling me, but don't think that you have fooled me. I know you're fooling me. So people need to say, okay, you lied about this project. It is an unnecessary project. You have destroyed the lives of fishermen who are dependent on those areas. You have destroyed rare forms of wildlife, and you have put Mumbai at a severe risk. And you have increased the problems for Mumbai by dragging more cars into South Mumbai, which simply cannot carry that load. And I'll tell you this, that the ultimate plan is to open up all those heritage areas in South Mumbai. You will find parking lots and buildings coming up all over that place. South Mumbai will stand completely transformed if the coastal road happens. And we need to be prepared to see that permanent facade change for Mumbai. You will see a completely different city at the end of it. Nothing resembling heritage will be left there.
It is actually a shame that more people are not protesting. More people are not writing to the Chief Minister or the Prime Minister, putting their views on record. I think that is really what is required now. That it has to be done and it should be done. And I'm sure even now, if you get about 15,000-20,000 people to write, it would make a huge difference.
Yes. If you have seen our video and agree to our points and have done your own bit of research, please put your dissent out. Say no to coastal road. We suggest you act now or swim later.